We can't be a one-dimensional team that relies on, stoppage only to provide territory for us. There's other methods of play. Where I think we've actually grown as a group is that we've been able to find another way to be able to score. So, certainly at the start of this year, that stoppage dominance was able to give us really great field position. As we've gone throughout the last little period of time, the first half of the year, we've been able to add layers into our game plan. We've been able to progress in other ways and find territory in another way.
I was back in round 16 about the need to add layers for the Blues. They started 8-2 and they have hit the skids a little bit in recent times, and 2 tough weeks to go. They're clinging on. Pardon the pun.
I think
Cara?
some of the talk around Michael Voss and his match day coaching has been a bit tough. I mean, I think they probably overachieved that.
What do you think internally? Do they think it's an area that needs work?
I think there are people around the club, influential forces around the club, who are turning a bit. But I'm sure they're looking at it internally. But
when
no,
you say around the
fair.
club, they're famous for having outside sort of legends that have a big influence.
Exactly. And
so no one internally.
I think that's not my understanding, Kane. That's not my understanding. Brisbane was stung last week. They were always going to come out fighting. Their big failure was last week, and I don't know. That was a mindset thing. I'm not sure.
It's amazing how quick we turn, isn't it? Because Ash Hansen's been lauded in the first. With Carlton are winning, we're pumping up Ash Hansen, how well he's going. Then Carlton start losing, we start to have a go at Michael Voss around that. So they've lost their way. I think they've lost their one-wood. So I think teams have worked them out a little bit, Kano, with the clearance work and obviously possessing of the footy. And they do have to find a few other avenues.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Lordo. We said it last week that if you match them on ball and around the stoppage, then what else is their other avenue? And yesterday I was just so disappointed with their ball use and their ability to cough up the ball in traffic. You're seeing Brisbane scores there from stoppage. If they kicked more accurately, it would have been carnage. But yeah, some of these skill errors were what stood out to me under not a lot of pressure, and then the missed tackles again. So physically, I guess their bottom 10 players at times are found out physically. 23 missed tackles against Adelaide the week before, and we saw almost a repeat of that against a very good Brisbane side, it must be said, at the Gabba yesterday.
They don't pay their top 4 as much as the Giants do, but I reckon they pay their top 8 as much as anyone in the comp. They've got looming salary cap issues.
Which is an issue when you haven't achieved much.
When you haven't achieved a lot. So you haven't allowed for those players to become what they were, i.e. DeConning. There's storm waters ahead. Shearer, now there's argument on whether he got 700, 600, 500, I get that, but has he lived up to the hype coming in, do you think?
Well,
he's one of those 8 or 9.
If you do sign a big contract, you want more than this, and particularly when Hewitt and Kennedy are out, you've got to step up and you've got to alleviate some of the pressure on Walsh and Cripps. This is what he delivered yesterday. I mean, it's rubbish ball use, really. It's just a possession for the sake of a possession. Like that there is not befitting of an A-grade player, and I think he's been a disappointing signing so far.
Now, Matthew, one win in the next 2 weeks against either Melbourne or Collingwood, they make finals. Are you going to continue your theme that you started last year with Essendon, that maybe it would be better for them to miss, or it would be better for them to get there?
I think Carlton better to get there, because I think Essendon's was a late charge where I didn't feel it was bankable with what they were doing. Carlton were, what were they, 8-3? 8-2, but they've had injuries. So I think to be there for so long in the 8 the whole season, then to fall away and miss on the last round of the season will be bitterly disappointing.
Do you think they'll make it?
I don't think they make it, no. I think they lose their next 2 and the Dogs win their 2 and they'll miss out.